You know, preparing our horses for the real world is one of the most important things that we can do for our horse, and it is our responsibility to do that. A farrier's work is one of the most physically difficult jobs, in my opinion, and that's when a horse is confident and is able to balance themselves and cooperate. If we have a horse that is anxious or unconfident, or even to the point where that anxiousness turns into aggression and the kicking starts, you're not going to get the job done that you want with your farrier, and your farrier basically should not have to put up with that. If we charged by the minute, a farrier's charged by the minute after, let's say, a 20-minute trim default time, I'll tell you, we'd probably spend some more time in preparing our horses for this. So this little video is a teaching video that I hope will help you to understand the importance of preparing our horses in two ways. First, understanding balance. A horse has to be balanced in order to stand on 3 feet. They can completely do that. In fact, horses could stand on 2 feet if they needed to, but you've got to understand that when our horse is all tucked up kind of tight here, and then we ask them to pick up 1 foot, you can see that it's not really a power position. It's not really a good tripod for them to feel confident. Horses don't want to feel like they're falling. They'll do anything but fall. So we want our horse to be able to spread his legs out in a square position, so that when the farrier asks for, let's say, this back leg to be up, then the weight is shifted to the right, and the feet are far enough apart that the horse feels like they are not going to fall. That's one important concept. The other important concept are these legs. You know that this is the defense of a prey animal, and for anybody or anything to entrap those legs, to tie them, or to allow the horse to feel that they can't get away, can be extremely claustrophobic for horses, to the point where they will do anything to get away from that feeling. So all of that is preparation and repetition. So I've got my friend Dreamer here, and I'm just going to show you some exercises. I'm just going to show you on one side, just for the sake of the length of this video, but I want you to know that one side of our horse is usually different because your horse is seeing you out of the other eye. Sometimes it's the right, sometimes it's the left, but you need to do this on both sides, and you need to keep an observation going as to how to read your horse. Where is that threshold that he's uncomfortable with? And for some horses, we just take this for granted. So for instance, you know, we go in to maybe clean out the hooves, we go get the hoof pick, we go directly to the horse, we ask the horse to pick up the foot, or we pick the foot up ourselves, and the horse is leaning on us, and all we can do is just, you know, clean that foot out. And the horse feels that direct lineness. They feel that you're almost doing something to them as opposed to for them and with them. So again, that's all preparation and being mindful at what you're doing all of the time. So what I would do, one of the things that I would do is I would take my long arm training stick, I call it a long arm, and I just kind of be able to massage this leg in all of its parts. Dreamer doesn't know what I'm talking about here. He's trying to be an overachiever, but basically he's relaxed. I can tell his neck is down, his eye is soft, and I'm going to make sure that I can touch every part of him. And I'm just massaging with a longer arm. Again, watching my horse. You'll notice that my line is on the side that I'm working with, and that's because I can hold that line if I feel unconfident myself, particularly when I come around to his tummy and come around to his back legs. 'Cause immediately, if he were to push his hip into me, if you had a horse that was that unconfident about touching the back legs, I could immediately pull his nose toward me and get that hind quarter away. So again, safety's first, right? So again, massaging with this long arm. Good. You know, horses do love to be massaged after they know the purpose of it. And I mean, who wouldn't love a leg massage? Horses, performance horses, race horses, those horses are amazing at anything that you do with their legs. And that's because they have a lot done to them or with them. The legs are always prepared with different kinds of liniments and with bandaging and all those kinds of things and trimming and shoes and so on. So they're really good at handling of the legs. But some of the rest of us maybe leave this till the last in terms of what we do with our horses. So again, that's one of the things that I would use. Something else that I would use is a 1/2-inch yacht rope. And again, I've got a 22-foot one here for no other reason other than I can show you a little bit clearer because I can stand back a little clearer, but it's also a good thing so that you can do at longer distances from your horse. And what I would do here is just make sure that I would massage again. I'd massage behind the knee. I would massage down here on the fetlock, just drop that down here. And again, you're just using kind of a zigzag motion, kind of nice, and again, it should be relaxing to horses. Flipping that rope up. If your horse isn't used to lines around their legs, you want to do a little bit of that even before you do this. So that's where you would do on the front leg. On the back leg, it's very similar. I'm just going to move Dream around here so I can show you. Hold still, buddy. So this is a very sensitive horse. He kind of sometimes doesn't know what I'm asking and is trying his best to answer it. So I'm making sure I'm going to flip that rope around so it doesn't get in my way. And again, same thing here. Massaging above the hock, zigzag, kind of flipping that down and massaging down here on the fetlock. These are all kind of nice rhythmic feelings, and again, different kind of a massage. From there, I might go to what we would consider as a traditional massage and start to use my hands. So making sure that my shoulder is to his shoulder and I'm standing in a nice a 3-point power position. I don't want to be doing it this way. If my horse should move towards me, I'm going to end up flopping down. So again, massaging with your hands all the way down. You don't have to get down on your haunches like this to do it. If that's not a confident position for you, you can just stand and massage and massage. And again, don't forget the tummy part, because when farriers are working around horses, oftentimes they always have 3 hands on the horse. So 3 hands meaning hand, and touching with the shoulder. So you want to get him used to having that being touched. And again, inside, down the hock, right to the fetlock, and massage and massage. And again, it's a slow rhythmic massage so that your horse feels confident with what you're doing. At any stage, they kind of get antsy with that. Go back to something that you were doing that they were comfortable with, and just take your time. I'm going through these quite quickly because of this video, but I want you to break each of those down so that your horse is feeling confident with all of them. And again, remember to do the other side. I'm just doing it on one side today. Okay. Now, the next thing, more advanced, that you'd start to do with your horse is to give him the feeling that there's something around his leg and there's pressure on it. Because again, if we tie horses' legs up, oftentimes, that's a feeling of panic, can provide a feeling of panic. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take my line and I'm going to wrap it around his knee. And then I'm going to ask for his leg to come forward. Now, he's doing that pretty good. You're 10 out of 10 today on that one. Remember, if I can't ask my horse's foot to come forward, how do I expect him to put his foot up on a farrier stand? So that's really, really important to be able to do. And I'd maybe do it at the knee. I'd try to stay away from those tendons. Dreamer, you've got too much of a winter coat here. And again, making sure with just an ounce of pressure that I can have my horse's foot come up and come forward. Something else I might do is standing at his shoulder this way. And again, I'm strong in position here. I've got some upper body strength. What I'm going to do is just, oh, thank you, is to pick my horse's foot up and hold. And just hold. And let him get balanced. You see, he was trying to balance there. He probably moved his back legs out a little bit so that he feels more confident and balanced on 3 legs. Okay, so that's what I would do with that. And again, making sure you walk with him. And then let that leg down softly. And the same thing on the back leg. So let's just bring him up here a little bit. Keep walking out of the camera, mister. Again, always making sure he knows that you're behind here. I'm going to go from the inside out there and just make a loop around with both sides of this line. And again, I want to be able to ask my horse above the hock to bring that leg forward. And you can see some resistance here, and he's not balanced. You see, his back legs are too tight, so I'm going to just help him a little bit. Say, you know what, spread those legs out a little bit. And then, I'm probably out of the camera now. Come on, buddy. And there's a little resistance back here, and I expected this. This is Dreamer. His front legs are usually okay. His back legs, not so much. So he's not feeling the pressure on here. So what I would do here then is I would go down to the fetlock. Let me just turn him around a little bit here again. Come on, mister. Here. And again, actually ask that foot to come forward. I could also use, again, this pressure of coming up to ask that foot to come straight up. And then I have that upper body strength to just hang on to that with 2 hands. And his job is to find that balance and hold on to it until he balances. Make sure you know the difference between starting to panic and just finding and him shifting his weight so that he can better bring that foot up and keep it up. So again, that's another thing that you can do with your horse. And you know, as much as Dreamer has had his feet trimmed for many years, he's still a little anxious about having his back legs, pressure on the back legs. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is kind of more of an advanced idea of having legs trapped. And so I don't want you to do this until you have the rest of these so well done that your horse is really, really calm and balanced through it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 22-foot line here, find my little loop. There we go. So my 22's got a metal loop on it. You really can't do this with anything other than this kind of end on the line. You wouldn't want to do this with your brass clasp or any kind of a pokey kind of clasp. And I'm just going to put this around my horse's leg and then create like a slip knot and put that right down. There, right down on the fetlock there. And it's away from tendons. Just turn him around a little bit. There we go, buddy. I'm going to ask for this foot to come up, really nice and tight, and then I'm going to wrap this from the outside to the inside, probably about, let's say, 3 times here. Good. And then just try to read him again. Does he need to balance? Does he have his legs balanced enough that he doesn't feel like he's going to fall? And you know, I don't want to do this to trap until he panics, but I want him to be able to see if he can adjust himself a little bit without panicking. And if he should start to go there, you know, it's not a sink or swim kind of thing. So what I can do is very quickly, I'll show you at the camera, is get out of this by just twirling it around twice, and it will come off. So one more time. Come on, buddy. Okay, so we'd ask our horse to bring her foot up, nice and tight. And we wrap, and once more. And then I can maybe even walk away from it a little bit, see if he can find his way to balance. You can see he's kind of shifting his weight there. Again, if he should start to panic, 1, 2, 3, and he's out of it. I know. Okay, so much harder to do all this on fuzzy horses, but I think you get the picture. And the very last thing that I can say, and then I'm going to leave you to practice, is, again, to do with the dynamics of the biomechanics of the way a horse stands on 4 feet. If you're holding your horse for your farrier, and they've just finished trimming the left front, and they're now going to come over to trim the right front, that would mean the diagonal leg, which would be the left back, should be a little bit ahead of the right back. So the 2 diagonal legs are ahead of each other, if that makes sense. And a diagram would be great here. And you can do that by the time the farrier comes around here to do the other foot. I can say, I need that left foot ahead of the right back. The left back, there it is. Good. And now your horse has about an 85% chance of being balanced on a diagonal. So that's something that you can do as well. You have to have a good little send and draw, but that's another whole story and another lesson. So good luck with some of these, and with all of them actually, and make sure you understand that preparation for a farrier is about balance and about handling those legs. You can't do enough massaging. Do it at the end of your lesson, even if your horse is confident. Just keep doing it and keep doing it rhythmically, and your horse will feel more and more confident with ropes around their legs and being touched everywhere. Good luck with farrier prep. It's worth it.